Hello! I'm watching a bit of Racing Post Grey on TV. Was due to be at Toaster this evening for a Christmas do, but some people couldn't make the journey. Never mind, that's not the point of the video. The point of the video is I have chucked out another gg.co.uk column, basically to do with the Antepost punting for Cheltenham. And because at the moment there's a lack of racing due to the inclement weather, I don't even know if that's the right phrase, but I've said it anyway. Last weekend we didn't have a lot. This weekend, I mean, really the only big one would have been the long walk hurdle. We're getting to a point now where it's nice to have a little bit of a lull, take a bit of time out. I don't think the form of a lot of these races, I mean, you might get some good winners, but I don't think a lot of the form in last weekend's or this weekend's going to stand out massively. I know Energumene hacked up the last day, didn't he? But let's be honest, it was like £30 clear of the only horse that had any capability to finish with him because the other horse bled. But I've talked about in the GG column about the 12 Grade 1s of Christmas. Quite nicely done, I think. There are 12 Grade 1s over Christmas. And I talked about these a couple of years ago. I did like a little PDF thing where I shared out what the trends and all those sort of things were for horses that might win this, what it means for Cheltenham. So I thought it was worth, I know some of you like reading stuff, so I know some of you don't. I'll put the link below so you can go and give it a click because that's, you know, helpful, isn't it? Just click it, clickbait. And then I'm going to quickly just talk through some of it now. I'm going to try and keep this video fairly short, but I'm aware I didn't put anything out last week. I know you guys are probably worried about me missing my face. So here we go. There's actually only 4 in Britain. Calto Star Novices Chase, which is basically the Feltham, Christmas Hurdle, the King George, and the Challow. I'll do them in the order that I've just shouted them out there. Calto Star Novices Chase, last year won by Brave Man's Game. He was favourite for the Brown Advisory last year, wasn't he? But he didn't go, and that means he didn't win. I've done this for like the last decade and a little bit beyond, but Coney Green was the last horse to win this and then win at Cheltenham. That was in 2014 when he won the Gold Cup as a novice. I don't think that's going to happen this year. But if you look at some of the other horses that have run in here as well, we had Danast, who was beaten favourite at Cheltenham. He did win at Aintree. Grand Cruz was the same, beaten favourite at Cheltenham after winning this. And he was actually beaten by Bob's Worth, that was 3rd in the race. Now, speaking of horses that were behind in the race, Top of the Game also won the RSA. And in between that, kind of in between, Might Bite fell when he should have won the race in 2016, had it at his mercy, did obviously go and win at Cheltenham. So it's a good race. I like it. I feel like it's the flagship Grade 1 for staying chasers in this country just because no Irish horses ever come over for it. We're not potentially going to see the RSA winner out of it, but horses have run well in it. It's the also-ran sort of race, I suppose. It's a cracking race anyway, so obviously those things can change, but just to keep it in mind that we're going to see some Grade 1 winners. Don't get too excited about certain races, all I'd say. One you can get excited about, Christmas Hurdle. Constitution Hill's going to go here, so it's almost irrelevant me talking about all the historical stuff. And obviously if Constitution Hill doesn't go here, then again, it's irrelevant because nothing's going to win the Champion Hurdle other than Constitution Hill. But Archibald and Bullock, My Tenant Yours for him, Bouvardin and Epitant have all landed this in the past. Not all of them won this and then won at Cheltenham. Epitant was the last one to do it in the 1920 season. Yeah, Honeysuckle's 21-22, isn't she? Don't need to tell you too much about that race. King George. The last horse to do the double is Calto Star 0809. Yes, it is an absolute corker of a Grade 1. We love staying chasers. It's supposedly the highest tier of National Hunt racing. Desi did it as well. But recently we're seeing horses who come short when it comes to March. Maybe that's because they don't like Cheltenham. Maybe that's because they don't really stay. Maybe it's because they lack a little bit of class. But it doesn't mean there's a runner in this race that can't buck that trend. Although you'd think the favourite Brave Man's Game might not really make into a Gold Cup type horse. But again, a great race. Let's not get overexcited, I suppose, about the winner, but don't completely and utterly rule them out, I guess. So do what you want. Challow Novices Hurdle, I talk about this multiple times because in recent years we've had champs go and win it and I poo-poo it, and then Stage Star go and poo-poo it. But with Cheetah Lyman's the last same season novice to win this and win at Cheltenham. That won the Albert Bartlett. Barter's Hill, I think, was somewhere in an Albert Bartlett after he won this. Time Hill went close as well. He nearly won the Albert Bartlett but didn't. Denman, when his renewal was run at Cheltenham, not at Newbury like the Challow is now, he was placed in a Ballymore, must have been second, wasn't he? Parlour Games and Champ were also runners up in that Ballymore. So no doubt we're going to see a very good horse here, but we're probably not going to see a Cheltenham Festival winner out of it. Ireland. They got the majority of the Grade 1s. Let's quickly skim through them. There's the Racing Post Novices Chase. Williers won 7 of the last 11 run-ins of this, and Duvan and Footpad did go and do the double. Now, Larichberg was 18-19 favourite. Injured, would have won, I suppose. Fernie won the race last year, was favourite at the time, injured, potentially would have won it. So you're looking historically, again in recent years, you'd have had 4 potential Arkle winners out of it. Notebook did go to Cheltenham as favourite, had known issues at Cheltenham after the Baddingmore was a bit buzzy before. So we're going to see something win this and be prominent in the market at the least. And speaking of this particular market, we've got Appreciate It, Dysart Dynamo, El Fabiolo, Flame Bearer for Willie Mullins, all in a beginner's chase. First race at Fairy House on Saturday. There is obviously scope that potentially 2 of them could go out in there. He's not afraid to run them against each other, I suppose. But yeah, we'll see. A lot of them might just need the run before this grade 1. Forheen Novices Chase. This was a grade 2 up until 2017. So when it was a grade 2, Saday's Chomp won this and then went and won the Marsh. Cool Reevy won this and then won the Mares Chase. So they're both mid-trip winners, aren't they? When you talked about going to Cheltenham, it can lend itself to a horse, I think, that's sort of a middle trip to 3 miler. So they might not be the best of the best, but that's your intermediate trips anyway, isn't it? The Paddy Rewards Club Chase, that's the 2 mile event. Let me have a quick look at this one, because who did it? Moscow Flyer, 0203 was the last one if you want a same season champion chaser. Now, Duvan was 2-9 when he fractured his hip. Chacon Bozar was also beating odds on favourite. Potentially an Ergamine could go here. He might miss this to go to the Dublin Race Festival. Could be that Chacon runs in here again. We've had some big names. Envoy's won it, Chacon's won it, Plutard, Simply Ned, Duvan. Like I said, Moscow Flyer, and there's obviously other big names in there. But it's a very good race, but hasn't always been the most poignant for champion chasers. Future Champions Novice Hurdle is a similar one as well. Appreciate It won it a couple of years ago. It was a really good Christmas period for the 2020 to 2021 COVID year, more importantly, I suppose. Appreciate It did do that. Isterbrack's the last horse to win this and win something else at Cheltenham. That won the Ballymore. In between them, we have had Size and John win it, Jetski win it, Hurricane Fly. So we've had some real good horses that have won it. Just doesn't always tend to throw up the monster that we might expect. Christmas Hurdle in Ireland is 3 miles event. Flooring Port did the double in 2020 and 2021. He's the only horse to have done that double, win this and then go and win the Stairs Hurdle. Apples Jade won this race 3 times. She did win at the festival, the Mares, but that came in 2016, the time before she did this. So again, pinch of salt time. Savills Chase, Synchronised did the double in 11 and 12. Before that, it was Best Mate when he won his 3rd in the 2004 season. So in 2003 that he won this. It is very hard to win a Gold Cup. Let's not lie about that. But it is a very difficult race to win this Savills Chase as well. Minella Rindo fell in it 2 years ago, won the Gold Cup. And a Plutard was beaten a short head last year. Goes and wins the Gold Cup. So maybe it's another one of those for the also-rans, like I said, for the Feltham. The Matheson's Hurdle, also known as the December Festival Hurdle. Shah just won it 4 times on the spin. We know he hasn't won a champion hurdle. The Fly did do the double in the 2012 and 2013 season. He also did it 2 years prior when he won the champion hurdle, won this and won at Cheltenham. Obviously, Honeysuckle's been the Irish top hurdler and obviously the top hurdler. She won the champion hurdler twice. She just doesn't go in this race. So it doesn't mean that it's not going to lend itself to a champion hurdle horse. It just means it's normally someone from Willie Mullins' yard that does it. So you're thinking of your state mans in there. The Neville Hotel Novices Chase, Monkfish did the double 2020, 2021, again, the COVID-ish year. Delta Work went close, of course, didn't it? That was 18, 19. Don Poley did do the double back in 14 and 15. Back in Focus won this for Willie Mullins and then went to won the National Hunt Chase, the 4 miler as it was then. And Shattered Love won this and then won the Turners in the same season. So it's a really nice race for a variety of trips. Definitely used by the better novice chasers. So that's pretty much a wrap up of the Christmas stuff. I do think there's going to be some Cheltenham clues in there. As I say, you can go and refer to this document later on. I will talk about it in next week's episode because it's getting closer to Christmas. But there are some grade 2s that'll be in there as well. There might be some good pointers. But it's obviously good to get excited. The ground is ropey at the moment, to say the least, because it is so firm. We've had good-ish ground for the majority of the season. I know in Ireland it's a little bit different, but we're getting close to Cheltenham now, and we're going to need some rain, aren't we? If we're going to see a soft ground festival, or at least a good to soft one. So the closer we're getting into it, some of these good ground horses may come good when it comes to Cheltenham, or equally so, they might come unstuck if it goes to typical spring ground. Comment below if there's anything that I've missed out here or I've messed up. Please do like the video. Please do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you again soon.